She stood in the doorway of the apartment she had crossed an ocean to reach, staring at the woman wrapped in his bathrobe. The woman's hair was wet. Her feet were bare. And she was looking at Zara like she was the intruder. "Who are you?" the woman asked in Korean, then switched to English. He didn't say anyone was coming. Zara's suitcase handle slipped from her fingers. It hit the floor with a sound that echoed through the Los Angeles hallway like a gunshot. 6,000 miles. 14 months of video calls. 3 words he had whispered to her just last night. And now this. "I'm his girlfriend," Zara said, her voice steadier than her hands. "Who are you?" The woman smiled. Not cruel. Not even surprised. Just, knowing. "I'm his wife." The word hit Zara like a physical blow. She took a step back, her heel catching on her suitcase, and she had to grab the doorframe to keep from falling. Wife. The word didn't make sense. It couldn't make sense. Joon had told her everything. His childhood in Busan. His move to America for graduate school. His dreams of opening his own architecture firm. He had told her about his mother's disapproval, his father's silence, his sister's secret support of their relationship. He had sent her flowers on her birthday, handwritten letters that arrived in blue envelopes, voice messages at 3 in the morning when he couldn't sleep because he missed her too much. He had never mentioned a wife. "You should come inside," the woman said, stepping back from the doorway. "Before the neighbors start watching." Zara didn't move. "Where is he?" "Working. He works late on Thursdays." "You would know that if you actually knew him." The dig landed exactly where it was meant to. Zara felt the heat rise to her cheeks, felt the familiar burn of shame mixing with fury. She had spent 14 months falling in love with a man through a screen. She had saved every penny from her nursing shifts, picked up extra hours, skipped meals, told herself it would all be worth it when she finally stood in front of him. When she finally felt his arms around her instead of just imagining them. And now she was standing in front of another woman wearing his bathrobe. "I'm not going anywhere," Zara said, "until I talk to Joon." The woman studied her for a long moment. She was beautiful in that effortless way that made Zara painfully aware of her own travel-worn appearance, her edges undone from 16 hours of airports and airplane seats and anxiety. But there was something in the woman's eyes that didn't match her perfect composure. Something that looked almost like relief. "Then you'll wait a long time," the woman said. "He won't be home until midnight. Maybe later. He always finds reasons to stay away." She turned and walked back into the apartment, leaving the door open behind her. "Now, before I continue this story, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss part 2 of this story, because trust me, you are not ready for what happens next. Drop a like on this video and comment below with the time and location you're watching from. I love reading where my subscribers are tuning in from, whether it's 2 in the morning in London or lunch break in Lagos. Let me know you're here with me. Now let's get back to Zara, standing in that doorway with her whole world crumbling around her. Zara picked up her suitcase. Her hands were shaking, but she made them stop. She had grown up in East Baltimore, raised by a grandmother who had buried 2 husbands and 3 children and still got up every morning to make biscuits from scratch. Weakness was not in her blood. Foolishness might be, apparently. But not weakness. She walked into the apartment. It was smaller than she expected. Joon had described a loft with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city that made him feel like he was floating above the world. This was a 1-bedroom with a window that looked out onto a fire escape and a kitchen so narrow 2 people couldn't stand in it at the same time. The furniture was minimal, almost sparse. A gray couch. A glass coffee table. A single photograph on the wall of a mountain she didn't recognize. No pictures of him and this woman. No pictures of anyone. "Sit," the woman said. She had moved to the kitchen and was filling a kettle with water. "I'll make tea." "I don't want tea." "Sit anyway. You look like you're about to fall over." Zara sat. Not because she was told to, but because she genuinely wasn't sure her legs would hold her much longer. The woman moved around the kitchen with the familiarity of someone who had done this 1,000 times. She knew which cabinet held the cups. She knew how much water to put in the kettle. She knew this apartment, this life, this man in ways that Zara clearly did not. How long? Zara asked. How long what? How long have you been married? The woman turned off the stove. The kettle wasn't even boiling yet, but she seemed to have changed her mind about the tea. She came and sat on the opposite end of the couch, pulling her legs up beneath her, Joon's bathrobe pooling around her like a silk shadow. For years, she said. Arranged. Our families have been friends since before we were born. It was always going to happen. For years. Zara had met Joon 18 months ago, on a language exchange app where she was trying to learn Korean and he was trying to improve his English. Their first conversation had lasted 6 hours. By the end of it, her face had hurt from smiling. He never told me, Zara said. The words came out flat, emotionless, because if she let herself feel them, she would shatter. No, the woman agreed. He never tells anyone. Not his friends here. Not his colleagues. I am a secret he keeps in the back of his closet, like old shoes he doesn't want anymore but can't throw away. There was bitterness in her voice. Old bitterness, the kind that had settled into the bones. If he doesn't want you, Zara said slowly, why are you here? Because my family would disown me if I left. Because his family would destroy his inheritance if he divorced me. Because in our world, marriage is not about love. It's about duty. About face. About everything except the two people trapped inside it. She looked at Zara with something that might have been pity. You thought you were special. You thought he loved you differently than he's loved anyone else. But you're not the first, you know. There was a girl before you. Brazilian. Very beautiful. She showed up at this door just like you, suitcase in hand, heart in her eyes. She lasted 3 days before she understood. Understood what? That Joon is very good at making women feel like the center of his universe. But he can only do it through a screen. In person, he disappears. He works late. He makes excuses. He loves the idea of escape, but he's too afraid to actually leave. Zara felt something crack inside her chest. Not her heart. Something deeper. The foundation of every dream she had built over the past 14 months. You're lying, she said. Am I? Then why did he tell you to come on Thursday? He knows I'm always here on Thursdays. He knows I come to use the shower because my apartment has been having problems with the hot water. He set this up, whether he admits it or not. He wanted you to find out this way so he wouldn't have to tell you himself. The words hit Zara like a wave she hadn't seen coming. She thought about all the times Joon had changed the subject when she asked about his living situation. All the times he had ended video calls abruptly when there was a sound in the background. All the times he had told her he loved her with an intensity that felt almost desperate. Like he was trying to convince himself as much as her. I need to go, Zara said, standing up so fast she knocked her knee against the glass coffee table. And go where? Do you have a hotel? I'll find one. With what money? You spent everything on the flight. I can see it in your clothes, in your shoes, in the way you've been wearing the same lipstick for 16 hours without reapplying. You came here with nothing but hope and a suitcase. And now the hope is gone. Zara turned to face her. Why are you doing this? Why are you being kind to me? I'm the woman who's been sleeping with your husband. The woman laughed. It was not a cruel laugh. It was exhausted. You haven't been sleeping with him. You've been talking to him. There's a difference. And I'm not being kind. I'm being practical. If you leave now, you'll wander around Los Angeles alone and heartbroken and probably get robbed because you clearly don't know this city. If you stay, at least you'll have a roof over your head while you figure out your next move. Stay here? In his apartment? He won't be back tonight. He'll know you're here, and he'll run. He always runs. You'll have the couch. I'll take the bed. And in the morning, we can figure out what to do with the mess he's made of both our lives. Zara stared at her. This woman who should be her enemy. This woman who had every reason to throw her out, scream at her, call her names that would sting for years. Instead, she was offering her a place to sleep. Why? Zara asked. Why would you help me? Because I was you once. I was young and foolish and I believed that love could conquer everything. I flew across an ocean for a man who promised me a life, and I've spent 4 years learning that the life he promised doesn't exist. Maybe I'm tired of watching him destroy other women the way he destroyed me. Or maybe I just want to see the look on his face when he realizes we've met. She smiled again. That same knowing smile from the doorway. My name is Su-min. And I think, Zara, that you and I are going to be very useful to each other. Zara woke to the sound of a key in the lock. She sat up on the couch, heart pounding, disoriented by the unfamiliar darkness and the unfamiliar sounds of a city she didn't know. The clock on the wall said 3:47 in the morning. She had been asleep for less than 2 hours, but she was instantly, painfully awake. The door opened. And there he was. Joon. Her Joon. The man she had loved for 14 months through screens and distance and oceans of longing. He was more beautiful in person than any camera had ever captured. Tall and lean, with cheekbones that could cut glass and eyes that seemed to hold entire galaxies. He was wearing a navy suit, slightly rumpled, with his tie loosened around his neck. He looked tired. He looked heartbroken. He looked like he had been crying. Zara, he said. Just her name. Nothing else. Like it was a prayer and an apology and a confession all at once. She didn't get up. She didn't move toward him. She stayed exactly where she was, her grandmother's voice echoing in her head. Don't you ever let a man see you run to him. Make him come to you. Make him earn every step. I met your wife, she said. He flinched. Actually flinched, like she had struck him. I can explain, he said. Can you? Please. Just let me. Let you what? Lie to me again? Tell me more stories about your lonely apartment and your lonely life and how much you wished I was there to fill it. He crossed the room in 3 strides and dropped to his knees in front of the couch. His hands reached for hers, and she let him take them because she wanted to feel his skin against hers at least once. At least once before she walked away forever. It's not what you think, he said. The marriage, it's not real. It never was. Our families arranged it when we were children. I never loved her. I never even wanted her. But I couldn't refuse without losing everything. My family, my inheritance, my connection to everyone I've ever known. So you just kept her? Like a dirty secret? Well, you told me I was the love of your life. You are the love of my life. Don't. You are. Every word I ever said to you was true. Every feeling, every dream, every plan we made together. I meant all of it. Except the part where you're married. He released her hands and sat back on his heels, his head dropping forward like he didn't have the strength to hold it up anymore. I was going to tell you, he said. When you got here. When I could see your face and hold your hands and make you understand. I was going to explain everything and then I was going to tell you that I'm leaving her. I've already started the paperwork. The divorce will be finalized in 6 months. Zara felt her heart stutter. What? I'm leaving her. I'm leaving all of it. My family can disown me. They can take everything. I don't care anymore. I've spent 4 years being the son they wanted me to be, the husband they forced me to be, and I'm done. I'm done living a lie. I want to live the truth, and the truth is you. He looked up at her, his eyes wet, his beautiful face raw with emotion. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I should have told you from the beginning. But I was so afraid of losing you. You were the first thing in my life that was mine. Not my family's. Not my culture's. Mine. And I couldn't bear the thought of you looking at me the way you're looking at me now. Zara stared at him. Part of her wanted to believe him. The part that had spent 14 months memorizing his smile, his laugh, the way he said her name like it was the most beautiful word in any language. But another part of her, the part that had been forged in East Baltimore by a grandmother who didn't suffer fools, that part knew better. Your wife, she said slowly, told me about the Brazilian woman. Joon went still. She told me I wasn't the first. That there's been others. That you have a pattern. Soo-min says a lot of things. Most of them are designed to hurt me. Is she lying? The silence stretched between them like a blade. There was someone before you, he finally said. Once. It ended badly. I'm not proud of it. And before her? Another silence. Longer this time. Joon. How many women have you told that you loved them while your wife was in the next room? It's not like that. Then what is it like? Explain it to me. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you collect hearts like trophies. You make women fall in love with you from thousands of miles away, and then when they show up in person, you disappear. You let them find out about your wife on their own so you don't have to do the hard part. You break them without ever having to watch them break. He stood up abruptly, turning away from her, his hands raking through his hair. You don't understand. Then make me understand. He spun back around, and for the first time, she saw something besides sorrow in his eyes. She saw anger. You want to know the truth? The real truth? I am drowning. I have been drowning my entire life. Every choice I've ever made has been made for me. The school I attended, the career I pursued, the woman I married. I have never once been allowed to want something for myself. And then I found you. This beautiful, brilliant woman who talked to me like I was a person instead of a prize. Who laughed at my terrible jokes and challenged my opinions and made me feel like maybe, there was a version of my life where I got to be happy. His voice cracked on the last word. I know I handled it wrong. I know I should have been honest from the start. But every time I tried to tell you, I imagined the look on your face, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch the light go out of your eyes. I couldn't lose the only thing that's ever made me feel alive. Zara stood up. She walked toward him slowly, watching his face, searching for the lie, searching for the manipulation. But all she saw was pain. Real, raw, devastating pain. Why Thursday? She asked softly. What? Your wife said you knew she'd be here on Thursdays. She said you set this up. You wanted me to find out this way. He shook his head. No. That's not. I didn't know she would be here. She's not supposed to come anymore. I told her to stop. I told her I wanted a divorce. She was supposed to stay away. Then why was she here? I don't know. Maybe she was trying to sabotage this. Maybe she wanted to hurt you before I could explain. She's not the victim she pretends to be, Zara. She has her own reasons for keeping this marriage alive, and none of them have to do with love. Zara thought about Soo-min's strange kindness. The way she had offered tea and shelter and information. The way she had seemed almost pleased to tell Zara the truth. She said you destroyed her, Zara said. She said a lot of things. Most of them are designed to make her look innocent and me look guilty. But she's been having affairs since our wedding night. She doesn't want me. She wants my family's money and the status that comes with being a Kwan. The marriage is a business arrangement to her, nothing more. The only difference is that I'm finally trying to end it and she's fighting to keep it alive. Zara felt like she was standing in the middle of a chess game where she didn't know the rules. Everyone was telling her a different story. Everyone had a different version of the truth. And she had no way of knowing which one was real. I don't know who to believe, she said. Believe me. Why should I? You lied to me for 14 months. Because I love you. He stepped closer, close enough that she could feel the heat of his body, close enough that she could smell his cologne mixed with exhaustion and desperation. I have never said those words to anyone else. Not to her. Not to the woman before you. Not to anyone. I have never meant them until I met you. Pause. I need to stop right here and ask you something. What do you think? Is Joon telling the truth, or is he just a very good liar? And what about Soo-min? Is she really a victim, or is she playing her own game? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know what you think is going to happen next. Now let me tell you how this conversation ended, because it took a turn that nobody saw coming. Not Zara. Not Joon. And definitely not me when I first heard this story. The apartment door opened. Both of them turned. Soo-min was standing in the hallway, dressed now in jeans and a silk blouse, her wet hair dried into soft waves around her face. She was holding her phone, and she was smiling. "Don't stop on my account," she said. "That was beautiful, Joon. Really. Your best performance yet." "Soo-min, what are you doing?" "What does it look like I'm doing?" "I'm documenting." She held up her phone. "This whole conversation, by the way. Recorded. Audio only, but still. I think your family will be very interested to hear how you've been spending your Thursday nights." Joon's face went white. "You wouldn't." "I already have. I sent it to your mother 5 minutes ago. Along with some lovely screenshots of your messages to Zara. The ones where you call me a prison sentence. The ones where you talk about running away to Africa to be with your true love. Your mother found those particularly fascinating." "Why?" The word came out strangled. "Why would you do this?" "Because you humiliated me." Her voice dropped the pleasant facade, revealing something cold and hard beneath. "You thought you could throw me away like garbage. You thought you could replace me with some random girl from the internet. You thought I would just sign the divorce papers and disappear quietly. But you forgot something, Joon. I am not the weak little wife you think I am. I have been building a case against you for 3 years. Every affair. Every lie. Every promise you made to women who weren't me. I have all of it documented. And now I'm going to use it to destroy you." Zara stepped back, her mind reeling. This was not the woman who had offered her tea and sympathy. This was someone else entirely. Someone dangerous. "What do you want?" Joon asked. "What I've always wanted. The settlement I deserve. Half of everything. The apartment in Seoul that your grandmother left you. The investment accounts your family doesn't know about. All of it. You're blackmailing me. I'm negotiating. There's a difference." Joon laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. "You won't get anything. My family will never let you take what's theirs. Your family will pay me anything I ask to make this scandal go away. A Kwon man caught cheating with a black American woman? The headlines write themselves. The shame alone would kill your grandfather." Zara felt the words like a slap. A black American woman. Like she was a weapon being used against him. Like her existence was a scandal in itself. "I'm leaving," Zara said. Both of them turned to look at her, almost as if they had forgotten she was there. "Zara, wait," Joon said. "No. I'm not doing this. Whatever this is, I'm not part of it. I came here for love. Not drama. Not games. Not to be some pawn in your twisted divorce." She grabbed her suitcase, the same suitcase she had dropped in the hallway a lifetime ago, and headed for the door. "Where will you go?" Joon called after her. "Anywhere that isn't here. You have nothing. No money. No place to stay. Let me help you." She turned back, one hand on the doorframe. "You've helped enough." She walked out. The Los Angeles night swallowed her whole. The streets were empty at 4 in the morning, nothing but streetlights and shadows and the distant hum of traffic on some far-off highway. She had $37 in her checking account and a credit card that was 2 payments from being cancelled. She had no friends in this city. No family within 3,000 miles. She had nothing except her suitcase and her pride and the shattered remains of a dream she had been foolish enough to believe in. She walked. She didn't know where she was going. She didn't care. She just needed to move. Needed to put distance between herself and that apartment. Needed to breathe air that didn't taste like betrayal. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She ignored it. It buzzed again. And again. She pulled it out. 3 messages from Joon. The first one said, "Please come back. I can fix this." The second one said, "I love you. I've never stopped loving you. Please don't leave me." The third one said, "There's something else you need to know. Something I couldn't tell you with Soo-min in the room. It's about why I really brought you here. Please. Give me one more chance to explain." Zara stared at the message. One more chance. That was what they always asked for. One more chance to lie. One more chance to manipulate. One more chance to break her heart in a new and creative way. She should delete the messages. Block his number. Find a 24-hour coffee shop and wait until morning when she could figure out how to get home. But something in the third message stopped her. Something I couldn't tell you with Soo-min in the room. What could he possibly have to say that he couldn't say in front of his own wife? Her phone buzzed one more time. This message wasn't from Joon. It was from a number she didn't recognize. It said, "Zara. This is Joon's mother. I know everything. We need to talk. I have a proposition for you. It will change your life forever." Zara stood on the dark Los Angeles street, her suitcase at her feet, her heart in her throat. What did Joon's mother want with her? What was the secret Joon couldn't share? And why did she have the terrifying feeling that everything that had happened tonight was just the beginning? Now I know you want answers. I know you're sitting there wondering what Joon's mother could possibly want. I know you're trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who's the real villain of this story. And trust me, the next part is going to shock you in ways you can't imagine. But you're going to have to subscribe to find out. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when part 2 drops. Because what happens next? It's going to change everything you think you know about Joon, about Soo-min, and about why Zara really flew 6,000 miles for a man she met online. The truth is darker than anyone expected. And Zara is about to discover that she wasn't the one being played. She was the one being rescued. From what? That's exactly what we're going to find out in part 2. Stay tuned.